all probably on leach fields.
I'm guessing from a builder perspective, this isn't the easiest project.
Yeah. But we've done stuff like this. There's something to be said about this. Here's Kamal the builder once again. If you're thinking about buying lot in a rural space, someplace that's far away, here are a few things to consider. And when we work with our customers and design and build homes on lots, these are the things that keep coming up over and over again. So something to think about is usually the access to these lots is through a narrow street. Usually it's one lane on either side, and usually it's dark at night. So a lot of people say, if I live here, how will my wife drive here at night in case she has to drive, in case she has to go and do groceries, or in case during a rainy season or a stormy season, if a tree falls on the road, how am I going to get out of here? So that's a consideration we see over and over again. Other things we see in areas like these, usually these are densely wooded areas, and sometimes the insurance company says, I'll not give you insurance on this one because in case there's a fire, you may have access issues, the house may burn down, you may not be able to get any help, so no insurance for you. So if you're borrowing money to build the home or to buy the land, that becomes a problem. Something else we see also in lots like these is the steepness of the access. When you have more than 12% slope at the entrance or exit of the lot, often enough you're in a situation where the fire department will create objections because a fire truck or an ambulance cannot get to the lot, cannot service the property. Also, in case a fire truck gets here, it needs to be able to turn around safely and get back. If a fire truck gets here and gets stuck, guess what? The fire department will not approve your project. So the city will consult your fire department when dealing with lots like these and also common lots that we see every day. This also becomes a red flag for the bank because the bank says, why would we lend to somebody who's building a home surrounded by woods with no fire truck access, no ambulance access? That's why a lot of lots don't work, because if you can't get fire truck access, ambulance access, fire truck turnaround, as well as the quality of the road or a bridge that will support what's called fire apparatus, that means the road or the bridge needs to support 75,000 pounds of weight. So that becomes a problem. But then we have other things we can do to get the project fully permitted. So there are other tricks in my bag that we utilize to legally get a project permitted, even though it doesn't have fire truck or ambulance access. The other thing I look for as a builder when I visit a lot like this, I look for utilities. Do we have electric service? Do we have water service? Is the sewer on a city sewer line? Or do we have to basically have a leach field and a septic system designed and built here? So I look for things like that. So those are the key considerations when you look at lots in rural areas and whether you can build or whether it will be expensive to build or whether it will be time consuming to build, because now you have to convince multiple parties that you should be able to build here. For this particular lot, what I look for always, do we have utilities? And generally, if you look at power poles, you can differentiate between high tension, high voltage power versus regular mains power. So you can see the wires that are taller up, those are also running here. So that's a different set of wires than these wires. And then also on poles like these, you see the lower wire, that's usually the cable service. And sometimes it's the electric service, sometimes it's the cable service. As you get closer to the wire, you can actually tell what it is. So we look for things like these to determine what services are available. Sewer is usually not found at these distant locations, so you end up building a septic system of your own. And for water service, we see the properties next to this one, so there's likely water here, and what we do is we walk around and we check for water meters in the ground, so that tells us that water service is here. So those are the key things we look for when we visit these lots. If we see propane tanks at the neighbor's property, we know that there's no natural gas here, so people are getting propane by the truckload, so that's something else that we look for.
I'm assuming that most people who are looking and evaluating of buying a lot like this also are talking to a builder while they're evaluating the lots.
Yes, when we have customers that want to work with us, what they do is, as they're looking at multiple lots and multiple properties, they ask us to join them and give them these pointers. Will it be easy to build on this lot? Will it be expensive? Do we have to do a lot of site improvements? So then I'm looking at other things also. I'm looking at slopes. I'm looking at contours. I'm looking at how much of the land has to be cut. On some properties, if there's a soils report, I read the soils report to find out what needs to be done to build a foundation for the project. For one of these projects, we had a 500-page report that I had to read in order to provide feedback to my customers, and I did. So we do that type of work for our customers so that they're better informed, better educated before they make an offer. So feel free to consult us on lots like these, and we'll be happy to provide you with a completely neutral but somewhat educated opinion. So hopefully you'll enjoy that.
Okay.
Customer who's closing that lot in Saratoga, I visited 4 or 5 lots with them. That's what we do, so that they're better informed and they're able to better judge the quality of each lot as we look at them.
Yeah, this one is steep, huh?
Quite steep. So that's why if you can barely get a car here, then imagine the fire truck. Those are other things we look for. That's a drainage system for storm water. And when we see that, we know that some development has been done. This stuff is expensive. So usually the city requires the resident to do stuff like this. And the resident has to consult a civil engineer. The civil engineer does a grading and drainage plan. That plan shows stuff like this. We'll certainly share with you pictures of grading and drainage work that we've done. We'll put in catch basins like that as well as drainage systems like that. So when you see that, you know that some plans were done for the neighbor's property and the city approved them and things moved forward. Yeah, usually this thing is not there by itself. Usually it's connected to another one. Usually there's a pipe in the middle, and this stuff can cost $100,000 or more.
Wow.
So it's expensive stuff.
Well, especially depending on how much you're digging up, right?
Exactly.
This looks like there's a lot of dirt here.
Yes. So you have to haul away a lot of dirt. Hauling dirt is expensive. These days we are paying $1,000 a truck to haul dirt away. We can bring you to another project in Los Altos Hills where we just hauled away 137 truckloads. You can imagine it's $137,000 worth of money spent just on hauling dirt away from the property.
Oh, wow.
So we do stuff like that because we are required to. It's in the plans, so we have to do it. This is a beautiful creek below us, and in my opinion, that itself is worth $1 million because I love creeks, and it's flowing right now. You can probably hear it, but it's not for everyone.
Let's get the creek.
It's beautiful, especially in the rainy season. You know, the water is probably a little higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a respectable amount of water that's flowing there.
And it smells like nature.
Smells like nature. In fact, on the other side of the bridge, there are blackberry plants in the creek with the white flowers, and there are honeybees, wild raw honeybees that are feeding on those flowers. Those are things I look for as a nature lover. If you're a homeowner or an agent and you want us to evaluate one of your projects, starting from the design stage to permitting as well as construction, we'll be happy to meet with you and give you some insights on your project. You can book a call with the link down below. Feel free to contact Kamal the Builder. We'd love to work with you.